welcome to the Love Studio Online, your nutrition channel. Today, Jenna and I are talking cooking with fats. Last week, we talked a little about just fats in general. Today, we're going to get a little more specific. If you've ever had questions about, well, what do I use? Butter, margarine, olive, canola. What do I use?
Right. So you'll see we have a nice, if you can see that in our window, so our windows are, maybe we have a little bit of,
That might be
there we
better.
go, that better. Okay. So an array of different fats that we can use, and we'll just kind of talk a little bit about those and what are the best practices in using those and some of the things you can do to add fats to your diet. So maybe after our talk, you realize you get a lot of fats in your diet, or you realize you don't get enough fats in your diet, or maybe you get more red than you do yellow fats, and so on and so forth. So adjusting those things, understanding what that means, and understanding what type of fats that we can cook with.
Yeah. So just a little refresher if you didn't tune in, fats they're a macronutrient, so that means your body needs it in large quantities. It needs it for energy, it needs it for cell health, brain health, all kinds of good stuff. So the body needs fats, and really three kinds of fats: unsaturated, saturated, and then the not so healthy.
Yeah, the trans fats.
The trans fats, hydrogenated fats. So today, cooking with fat. So most of us, usually the recipes always call for a tablespoon of oil to cook something. So do we start there, or where would we want to start?
Yep. So depending on the heat, right, is the oil that you should use when you're cooking. So yeah, it's a great place to start.
So let's talk a little maybe about the heat. So
Yep.
why that matters? Why does the heat, what something is cooked on, why does that matter with oil?
So like a high heat oil that we use if you're cooking something a little bit higher, you're searing meat or something, you're looking more for those avocado oils, or they call it clarified butter that does not have any milk solids, and they have ghee as well. That's another GHE. Otherwise, rapeseed oil is another one that is a high heat oil.
And that makes a difference because a lot of times we want to use oils, and depending on what's called their smoke point, so at the point that oil starts to smoke, then that oil is really no longer considered viable. So like an olive oil, right, has a lot of good nutrients, a lot of benefits, but once it reaches that smoke point, and it really doesn't have that high of a smoke point, so
Right.
It's only like at 350. So if you're frying something in a pan, sauteing, and it starts to smoke, right, you're losing the benefits of that olive oil. So then that's why we would use an avocado oil, because it has much higher smoke point, like at 500. So
Yeah, so like a medium or a sauteing oil, like you said, more of an olive oil, a coconut oil, or like regular butter.
and then olive oils are great for salads. Sorry to turn technology off. For salads, like just something, dipping your bread, using it with vinegar. That's what your olive oils are good for.
Very good. I just want to have some notes so I don't miss some things. And for things like salad dressings, which stay cold, like she said, the nuts and seed oils. So you have pumpkin seed oil, walnut oil, hazelnut oil, flaxseed oil. I think I have some almond oil up here. Those are good for the just making salad dressings and things like that of.
Yeah. So some of the best oils that we like to see that people use are the avocado oils, olive oils, even butters. We'll talk about butter and margarine, but coconut oil, especially for baking, flaxseed oil, macadamia nut oil. So those are some of the better oils. The moderate use oils, you can say, are what I have, and you have some different. So we have grapeseed oil, palm oil, peanut oil, safflower oil, but high oleic sesame oil, sunflower seed, but high oleic and walnut oil. And so what the high oleic means is this, they've added some more unsaturated fat, just make it a little bit healthier.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any different things than
Oh,
that.
that looks good.
Not recommended.
Yes, not
What those
recommended.
not recommended.
Not recommended. Go ahead. Yep.
Canola,
Yep.
corn, cottonseed, soybean, and vegetable.
There's also the safflower oil as well. That's kind of a
If it's not been had to have that
oleic.
added to it, yes.
The
Yep.
safflower oil.
Yep.
It's also so. And I think we did a post on cottonseed oil and doing some more research on that. Wendy said that she found out that cottonseed oil is in a lot of things.
Yeah. There's a lot of pesticide use with cotton. I did not even know this, but cottonseed, look on those labels. It's in a ton of different things. Salad dressings, baked goods. So know that if you're not getting an organic cottonseed oil, it's also a processed oil.
So processed with a bunch of pesticides.
Yeah. So not great.
Not greatest.
Canola oil, the same. It's been refined. It comes from a rapeseed oil, which we don't really eat. Rapeseed oil, corn oil, soybean oil, vegetable oil, just processed. They're just processed and hydrogenated kinds of oils that aren't good for the body.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So margarine and butter.
Yeah.
So right, there was a craze back. I don't remember when you were it was right because fat wasn't good, so everybody started using
Margarine.
Margarine.
Instead of butter.
yeah.
So what is the actual makeup of margarine?
There's right hydrogenated.
Yeah.
Hydrogenated fats, so fats that have been completely altered.
Altered to make that stick of margarine, and everybody always says, what is, lard, it's kind of like lard, right? The lard sandwiches that that you see, that was, it's always,
Yeah. And what's butter? Butter is really just cream.
Yep.
Right? A good butter is just cream.
yep, the organic salted butter. So in the ingredients, pasteurized organic sweet cream, which in parentheses says milk. So pasteurized organic sweet milk is in, and then this one's unsalted, so.
And one of the reasons we like to use organic is, right, we eat what the cows eat. So if you're, if I wanted my butter to be from a cow who doesn't eat a bunch of junk food,
Right.
essentially.
Junk food.
Yeah.
Yep. Right, absolutely. So that's cooking with fats, how we would cook with them, and we mentioned baking as well. Butter and coconut oil are good ones to bake with. What if we want to add more good fats to our diet? I know Wendy has some flax seed, some ground flax seeds.
This is ground flaxseed, so it is a great omega-3, so those great fatty acids to get into your diet. So you can buy the seed, you can buy the ground, you can add it to things like your smoothies, you can add it to anything baked. I use it in place of breadcrumbs, and what else did we?
Yeah,
Cereal.
Yep, we throw it in. We got oatmeal and when we make pancakes, we throw some in our pancakes and that. And she has ground, so ground versus the actual seed. I know that sometimes when you have the actual seed, it doesn't digest as well and give you as many nutrients as you have when you have the ground. So it's kind of like if you swallowed a whole peanut rather than chewing it up, you're gonna. Yep.
Right, makes sense, right? Because the seed will pass kind of.
Right,
right
exactly.
through you. And also, it's a great kind of binding agent. So oftentimes in recipes, if you have like an egg, right, allergy or something, they use flaxseed as kind of the binding agent. So you can use that too for that.
Absolutely. So also, like adding good fats to your diet. We talked about that maybe for breakfast, adding that to your oatmeal or something. Also adding your avocado oil when you scramble eggs. or,
Adding or an avocado to
Absolutely.
something, right? Even just adding, somehow throwing in or mashing your avocado up.
and I think that's a great alternative for mayo. A lot of people do mayonnaise or mayo, and smashing up an avocado or creating your own homemade guacamole instead of the mayo. So just in a sandwich, so you're going from those trans fats with the mayo and those not so good fats to a guacamole or an avocado, which gives you the good fats. So just kind of just a little trade off there, just to make it a little bit more.
And also adding like a nut butter to your
Yep.
baked goods, add some healthier fats into those.
Or like walnuts, almonds.
Adding a nut to something.
Yep. Chia seeds, hemp seeds are also good. One way to add is to add some fresh coconut milk, like to a protein shake or even toward a soup, or you can make it more of a curry based or stew or something. That's also a good idea.
Jeanette also informed everybody of the miso. So a miso is a cool little gadget. So if you don't want to buy like an aerosol spray, cooking spray, you can add your great oils to your miso.
Yep. And then you just spray on your pan, or even spray on. You had mentioned spraying some avocado oil on like popcorn.
Yeah.
And stuff too.
Yeah.
So that's really great, because then you're not using the aerosol type cans as well, because then those get tossed in the landfill.
So Jeanette, that says to expeller pressed. So sometimes you'll see expeller pressed on something, or what
Yeah.
else? Cold pressed. So a lot of times, because something comes from a seed, right, they have to like expel that oil from something. So it says cold pressed, that's chemical free, comes from the seeds. It means that it was extracted under a colder temperature. Expeller pressed, still chemical free, but it's generated out of some kind of friction.
Yep.
And compressed. But also just know that they also use solvents, a chemical process to extract things too, so that's something just to be aware of as you buy. You might want to look for expeller pressed or cold pressed.
Right. Finding a good quality oil. This is the organic extra virgin olive oil, and this is like one that I have on a subscription. Product of Greece, it says, but it is got a lot of certifications. It's actually been one of the higher end oils, and I'm told too, finding a good oil is like finding a good wine. It is, they always ask you to store it in a cool, dry, dark place, so you not to put it in the window and light. Just kidding. So be careful, because sometimes you might find like a giant can of olive oil, like the big cans on sale for $5. Generally, those aren't the best olive oils out there. They're probably have something additional to the olive oil in them. So just be aware of what your olive oils are.
Yeah. So virgin, it means, right, it hasn't been produced by anything chemical. But then extra virgin means it's just of a higher quality.
Yep.
So the extra virgin olive oil is a little better. But some people ask if you can just replace. Can you replace just like your vegetable oils? Like if you're baking a cake or something, can you use olive oil or avocado oil?
Absolutely. I do all the time.
I do. Me too.
Yep. So I haven't had any issues since. So it's all good.
All right.
What else do we have? Yeah. I think those are just some ideas. If anybody has any questions, you can certainly reach out to us. If you have something maybe that you have a question on, what kind of fat is in it, or how do I add better fats to my diet, or any of those good things.
Yeah, if you forgot what was good or bad, you can always just send us a note, and we can maybe even send you a little PDF that has a list of the ones we recommend, ones we use in moderation, and ones we don't recommend.
All right.
So, tune in next week.
Yep.
It's a surprise.
Next week's topic is a surprise.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right,
Thanks,
bye, everyone.
everybody. surprised because we don't.